I just want to establish this data just for the benefit of our viewers, which is that BSE 500 has seen a remarkable comeback. Let's look at that data. The index per se, from the recent low, which is August end, and that's about September, that's about 8 weeks, and has seen a recovery of about 10%. But Eicher Motors up 40%, Maruti up more than 30%. Check on stocks like Minda, they are also up, that stock is up nearly 50%. So double-digit gains for the BSE 500, and about 50% of the BSE 500 stocks have gained 50%, and one-third of the BSE 500 stocks have gained more than 20%. Tata Motors, Eicher, Jamna Auto, TVS. Flip it around, you got names like HDFC, AMC, which are up 40%. ICICI SEC, that stock has appreciated by 40%. Nischal Maheshwari, in hindsight, we are looking at the data and saying, wow, some are saying, oh my God, we should have bought at lower levels. But what is your sense? Do you think the bombed out levels in the market are over and now no large deep value trades are available?
So I don't think so. Morning Nikunj, I don't think so. There's a lot of value available. One of the names which we have been pushing is SBI. I think State Bank right up there, basically it's available at 1.2 times core adjusted book. A lot of triggers out there. If you look at it, basically they are going to list at least a couple of their subsidiaries, the card business, the general insurance. Plus if you look at it, I think last 2 quarters, very stable asset quality. So I think there are a lot of stocks like this basically which are still available, very cheap out there. I think it's just people to actually start going and looking out for value.
Because you are confident that the NCLT issues would be sorted, or you like SBI because ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank can run up and now SBI has to catch up?
I don't think so. So one catch-up is definitely on the card. This kind of a discount shouldn't be there. But secondly, whether NCLT happens or doesn't happen, basically, because NCLT is nothing to do with the economy, because economy and NCLT can both work on a parallel basis. And if the economic turnaround is there, then I think the largest bank of the country would be the biggest beneficiary of that. So that is another trigger for SBI. But valuation, asset quality stable, a lot of triggers out there, monetization of assets. I think these are enough arguments for SBI to be a top pick in the corporate banks.
Good morning. Let's get in your view as well as to how you're looking at the auto space and the kind of recovery we've seen. Of course, tomorrow we will be eyeing the auto sales numbers, and that is likely to see a pop purely on the back of the festive sales. But where do you stand when it comes to autos?
So auto, my stand has been from earlier also been very clear. We prefer two-wheelers, four-wheeler, and then the CVs. So that has been and if you go back into history, you have seen that this is the way the recovery always happens. So the lowest ticket item will start getting to be bought first, and that's going to be the two-wheelers. We have seen good jump as far as two-wheelers is concerned. CV, I'm as yet to ascertain whether this is just a bunch up sales or this is going to sustain. So I would keep my fingers crossed. CV, I very clearly see that it's at least a couple of quarters away when the full recovery happens.
Nischal, since we're talking about some of these stocks, from the BSE 500 that have seen those spectacular gains, we'll pick up a couple of others. We're looking at from the broader basket, from the likes of a Whirlpool to an Inox and even a Jubilant Food. That's the one we've actually been talking about, frequently of late. 38% gains coming in on that one itself. So, when we're talking about the rally becoming more broad-based, when we're looking at some of these stocks, are you also bullish on the likes of a Jubilant Food, for instance? What's the kind of opportunity you see
there? So we do not cover the stock, but we are positive as far as the whole consumption space is concerned, and we see that Jubilant is also up there. Now, Jubilant was being challenged by the likes of Zomato and all, basically because they are also doing the same kind of model of delivering food at your house, basically, and So that's why you had some concerns about it. But I think after this current quarter results, where they have again shown same store sales growth, I think market seems to be convinced about the viability of the model. So I think good space to be in. I think as far as the consumption starts off, once again, these are the stocks which will benefit the first in the upturn in the economy.
Nischal, what's your take? It's an interesting view coming in on how the tight liquidity continues to remain a risk for some of the mid-sized players. Most of the market experts continue to remain very selective within this space, picking out, the men from the boys. Where is it, that you're finding favor within NBFCs?
So I agree with what Citi is saying. Basically, I think at the moment, I think it is better to avoid the stocks where there is high exposure as far as real estate is concerned. But mortgage is one thing basically which you should be looking at. Secondly, we prefer asset financiers like Sundaram and Chola. So that's what our preference is basically within the NBFC space. So at the moment, we are clearly avoiding wholesale NBFCs basically, which have got large exposures to real estate.
Nischal, no one knows, but everyone has a view on Infosys. Before the whistleblower report, that Infosys will not do anything wrong. It is bluest of the bluest and the most pristine corporate balance sheet. But guess what? Question mark has been raised there. Do you think this controversy around the whistleblower complaint for Infosys corporate governance will also, ebb out, and in hindsight, the current decline in Infosys will turn out to be a great buying opportunity?
So as a business, Nikunj, I totally agree with you that this could be a great opportunity basically to buy it. But this is a second instance which is happening and which is being taken seriously by the board. Now, I believe there will be several of these whistleblowers which must be coming, and they must have looked at it and just cast it aside, saying that there's not much of meat to it. But I think this is the second time when the board comes in. So somewhere we have to start seeing that basically, yes, great management, all those things are right, but at least the system and procedures, somewhere there is a problem. Why it's not happening in TCS basically? It's an equally large company, as democratic as any other company could be. So that is where I think the issue is. Is the corporate governance as strong as what all of us believe in Infosys? So I think that's what my worry remains to be. Yes, business is very good. There's no doubt about it. But I think you cannot take away the issue that this is the second time this corporate governance issue has cropped up in the company.
Then, Nischal, for joining in and sharing with us your market outlook.